So if you're going to have a national park, you probably have to have a national park museum so people understand just what it is that national preservation of wilderness and wildlands and recreational natural sorts of geography and geology is all about. Let's see what we can determine. If you're going to have a fascination for preservation, that means preserving them while they're alive in the wild, or even preserving them after they're no longer alive in the wild. We love to depict them when they're alive in the wild. Become a believer in the beaver alive in the wild. Hey, Mr. Ranger, sir. Ah, golden eagle, once it flew. So, how'd you guys all get here into this museum so you could be stuffed and stultified? I bet this bear knows. Well, bear with me. They were all hunted and killed and stuffed to be stilled. That way, people could see what used to be alive, but wasn't anymore. A rather strange fascination. These guys had a lot of stuff to do. Stuffing of animals, that is. Taxidermy. Hey, just call me a taxidermist. Mr. Wilson and Mr. I reckon so. And if you're not going to fish them, take them home to eat them. You can stuff them, put them in a museum. Okay, let's watch living creatures. Fascinated by the dead creatures. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam. So, you know, the old bison and the Native Americans, they had a pretty symbiotic relationship. And they took just what they needed. They used every single part of the bison down to the bones, flesh, hides, furs. But they knew the survival of these noble creatures was imperative to their own survival, and balance between man and nature was achieved. But we were heading for bad things. Enter the coming of the white man, the buffalo hunter, who wanted the meat, but not the feet, who wanted the fur, but did not defer from slaughtering them in mass numbers for the sport and pleasure of hunting and having trophy heads. I mean, you can really brag to your friends about what a cool trophy head you have on the wall from this creature of the wild that you killed. Okay. Yes, our links between man and nature have been somewhat fractured over time, haven't they? Of course, there's another strange concept to this balance, or this way to feed man's fascination with wild creatures, and that is to create animal prisons. Zoos, sorry. Used to be an animal zoo right out there. You had you had live coyotes, bear cubs, wolves, lynxes, marmots, badgers, black bears, cougars, grizzlies, birds, wolves, polar bears, martens, and raccoons waiting in the zoo for you. So maybe there is something to be said to let them live in the wild instead of becoming a dead head. So maybe this will give you something to muse about the next time you go to a museum where you can see them up close, personal, and of course, not much alive.
And so you can become a believer in keeping alive the beaver and, you know, maybe all those other creatures of the wild too.